I caught you.
Season 3, episode 16. Sweet 16, baby. And we're doing it all tonight. You know, tonight, it's Debbie Gibson Day. It's not. It has nothing to do with Debbie Gibson. But by God, we're making a Gibson cocktail tonight. This is so old school. And it's a freaking great drink. And just nobody does it. No one does it. But we're doing it. We're doing it. Look, we're doing it quarantine style. That's how we roll. So, are you ready? Are we ready? Come on. Tonight, right now, let the show begin. See what? We're Blue Monkey Quarantine. Only business. Monkey business. Folks, let's go ahead to Gibson. Yeah, come on. I'll take you for a ride. Yeah, here we go. Woohoo! Yeah. There it is. Folks, Blue Monkey Quarantina. We're ready tonight. We got the setup. And here we are. Yes! Look at us go! Folks, the technology that we've crammed in to a 10 by 10 room filled with alcohol, shocking. Shocking. What's more shocking is the fact that Shelby and I can drink all day, cheers, Ben, and still pull this show off flawlessly. Well, at least it's flawless as it appears to us until we watch it the next day. And then it's a crapshoot. Folks, here we are. It's Gibson time. We got to go back. We're going way back. You know I love my old cocktails. This is 1890 San Francisco. San Francisco. Francisco. It's one of those words you say. Anyway. So, 1890 San Francisco. We are at the Bohemian Club, right? So, gentlemen, guy walks into a bar. Yeah, no joke. Seriously, guy walks into a bar. Walter D.K. Gibson yells at the bartender, angry that the way he makes his martinis. He says, if you keep shaking that martini, you're going to bruise my gin. Tells him to create a better martini. Lo and behold, the Gibson is born. See, here's what you have to understand. Back in the day, and still today, there are many martinis, but the original classic martini back in the day, no olives, no onions, we'll get there. It was a classic martini, gin, vermouth, dry vermouth, and bitters. And then it would normally have like a lemon peel as a garnish. That's a classic martini. Now, you also have your 50-50 martini, which is equal parts of gin and dry vermouth. You can have a Martinez. Now, Martinez is when you use sweet vermouth. I'm pointing to this. Sweet vermouth instead of dry vermouth. And then your gin. And then you add maraschino liqueur. Yeah, so that's delicious. Now, the perfect martini, which a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people think it's really dry. No. The perfect martini, by name, is actually when you mix equal parts of sweet vermouth and dry vermouth with your gin. Then there's the dirty martini. Somebody in this room's favorite, right there, loves her dirty martini. Now that's when we take the gin. Now I'm going to get there. Technically, dirty martini is gin, vermouth, and olive brine. And then there's the Gibson. The Gibson. And the only thing we're doing different, it's gin, it's vermouth, and then we're using cocktail onions. Now, I've just told you all these martinis, and it's gin. Yeah, Paul, but what about vodka? Well, what about vodka? So, here's what you have to know. The original martini was actually a gin drink. Got to go back. History again. Got to go back 1800s, before the Bohemian Club and before, we had Walter D.K. Gibson. We had a gentleman who basically was out during the gold rush. Hit it rich. Tons of gold. goes to a bar in a little town in California called Martinez. And he says, "I've hit it rich! Champagne!" The bartender didn't have any champagne. But he felt so bad. He's like, "Let me make you a cocktail." Well, here's what he had on hand. He had gin, he had vermouth, he had some bitters, and he had some maraschino liqueur. He mixed it up. He called it the Martinez Special. People say that's the birthplace of the martini. But the important thing to know is that the martini was always originally a gin-based drink. Gin, not this, gin. Now, obviously, today's world, can you have a vodka? Yes. One of my favorites, I love a vodka martini. Technically, that is called a kangaroo. Yeah. When you flip it from gin to vodka, it's actually a kangaroo. The more you know. So, you get that going for you. So let's just get rid of some other questions you probably have. The other part of the name. So as much as that's a great story, there are still a group of people, and I like to be one of those people. I think the drink is just named after Martini and Rossi. So 1850, before the cocktail was ever invented, Martini and Rossi was around. And this is the vermouth. And a lot of people believe that they added gin and they created the original martini. Who knows? For God's sakes, Paul, just make me a drink. All right, so we're making the Gibson. First of all, put some ice in your martini glasses. I'm sure everybody has their Blue Monkey Quarantini martini glasses. So, wait, hold on. There they are. Oh, recipe? Oh, this is me. Cue stage left. All right, so here we are. Now, this recipe, folks, is easy. There it is. Pat it. Pat it. Pat it.
No,
nope,
wrong way.
Wrong way.
There you go.
There it is. There it is. Anyway, it's an easy recipe. All it is gin and vermouth. That's it. Now, so here's a question. Get your shaker. Ice. Basically, it's about a 5-to-1 ratio. So that means we're going to go about 2.5 ounces of gin. Tonight, folks, we're going with a nice local 5 Stories gin. Big fan of the 5 Stories. I don't know if they're listening, but 5 Stories. We haven't had much luck with our emergency. We're going to try you. 5 Stories. Not sponsoring our show yet. All right. So anyway, here it is. 2.5 ounces per. Paul, that's a lot of gin. Suck it up, Buttercup. You can do it. So, so there's 2.
I'd like to try it with a dirty.
There's another 2. That's only 4. I need 5, so we're going to come and we're going to get 1 more ounce. And there it is. So there's our, oh my gosh. Can you smell the gin? I mean, it's beautiful.
No.
Then we're coming in with our vermouth, dry vermouth. Again, folks, I just want to remind you, Paul, I'm not a vermouth. I want it light. You probably have had bad vermouth. Remember, it's a fortified wine. It's only going to last about 30 days. So if it's not a fresh bottle, for God's sakes, throw it away. Spend another $8 and get a fresh bottle. Come on, we're not animals here.
It doesn't last that long in our house anymore.
We're able to go through the bottles pretty quick lately. Yeah, I'm proud. 1/2 ounce per drink. That's it. 5-to-1 ratio. So we're going to go 1 ounce total. Oh, lovely gurgle. Fantastic. And folks, that's it. Now, here's the question. Paul, shake it or stir it. So, despite what James Bond did in 1956 in Diamonds Are Forever, when it was said during that drink, martini, shaken, not stirred, actually that violates the very basic cocktail principles. And here's the truth. I'm putting it out there. You can do what you want. But the rule of cocktails is this. If it's all liquors, meaning no fruit juice, nothing else, you always stir. If it's got juice in it, then you shake it. Now, the martini's just a different drink. Some people, we like to shake it.
I like extra shaken.
We like to shake it. Now, the problem, what some people say is, well, that dilutes it more. Well, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. For tonight's purposes, I am going to give it a stir. I actually read an article in my 8 minutes. Quite interesting. I didn't read the whole thing. I paraphrased it. So I'll give you my broken analogy of it. And what they said, they actually did a study. Some people, it was over, I don't know, England, and where they actually made 3 martinis. Actually, they made martinis, they made Manhattans, and they would shake them. So they did some where they would stir, they would do a light shake, and then they would do an extra shake. And then they gave them to people and said, which one tastes better? And for the most part, most people found that the stirred drinks actually were milder. And what they found in the scientific study that they can do, that is actually when you shake it harder, it actually does something to the chemical breakdown of the alcohol, and it actually can make it taste stronger. So you get a milder, smoother drink by stirring. I love the stirring. Anyway, folks, there it is. Boom, done. That's it. That's your drink. Take your ice. Don't waste it. Put it back in your bucket. And then that's it. You're going to come in, strain it. Right here. Bringing it in. Look at this. Oh. The beauty of also of a stir over shake is it's going to be a clearer drink. It's just, ultimately, it's going to be prettier. And there's nothing wrong with being pretty. And then the star of the show tonight, cocktail onions. Yeah, that's a thing. So the rule is you're gonna put 2. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta fish them out. Oh, they smell delicious.
Yeah, but how's that gonna taste with emergency?
It'll be delicious. It's no different than the bitters.
Orangey onions.
Yeah. So you're gonna spear these, and then boop. There they are. There's 2. And there's a reason I'm coming to you. First of all, by the way, if you really wanted to be crazy, I just wasn't that crazy today, you can make your own cocktail onions. They're easy to make. All it is you take some little small onions, you cook them with a little bit of vinegar, sugar, and some pickling spices. Let them sit for about an hour. Boom, pickled onions, done. Whatever you want to do. So, folks, there it is. Now, last thing we're going to do, we're coming in, emergency. So emergency, actually not around quite as long as the Bohemian Club, but here's what I can tell you about the Bohemian Club. Still in existence in San Francisco, not allowing women. Guess what? Emergency, men and women accepted. We approve. We're going to just give it a little sprinkle, just a little bit. It's almost our bitters. Folks, there it is. That is your quarantine Gibson coming at you. I got to tell you, right off the bat, you can smell the onion. I mean, it's a tart smell. Oh, it's delicious. Now, I will tell you this. When you're mixing this up, you better grab some good gin. Now, you can go with the sweet, Old Tom style, but I'm going to tell you, go botanical. Go with, again, this is a 5 Stories. This is a London dry gin. Delicious, herbal, onion. Oh, fantastic. Now, last things I will tell you for the evening. First of all, the onion, as much as people say this is part of the original drink, it was not. In 1890, when the drink was originally supposedly created, and again, there's so many stories out there was no onion to be found to put in here. At least not at the bar. So when did the onion, how did that happen? Well, here's the story. There's a second story version of how the Gibson was created. And that goes to another gentleman. And his name was Charles Dana Gibson. And he happened to be an illustrator in New York about 1920. And he was a famous advertising illustrator, and he drew these beautiful pen and ink drawings. And one of the things that he ultimately created were what became known as the Gibson Girls. And the Gibson Girls were this epitome of what women were supposed to look like, or what they did look like during the 1920s. Well, folks, the story goes that all of the Gibson girls were pretty well endowed, and apparently the story goes that the two onions were meant to represent the well-endowed women of the Gibson Girls. And that's the representation of the two onions. Hey, all I do is report the news, folks. I just report the news. But folks, I don't care what you do. It is a delicious drink. And if you haven't sat down and had a wonderful Gibson cocktail, it's high time to let it begin. See what I did there? Begin? Yeah, you got it. Folks, oh, sit back. Enjoy one. Bringing it to the camera. Here it comes. Right here.
Chink.
Oh, look at that blue
That's
monkey.
pretty.
Is that pretty or what? Yes. Folks, thank you for another Sunday. Good to see you. And again, subscribe. Be part of the fun. And for all you do, this gin's for you. Love you. See you next Sunday, 9:30. Same bad time, same bad channel. Good night.